It just seems like a challenging matchup. Like, you don't... The Naya deck doesn't actually present any really relevant disruption,
right.
At least game 1. And it's very hard to get out of one of the 6s, so...
Yeah, the two big ways that you win, well, one of them is being on the play, which which Chris is not here.
Although Mitch's hand looks extremely land-heavy.
I haven't had a chance to take a look at it. But the important cards in the matchup against Ramp really are Gavity Township. Being able to get enough damage through with your early guys with Township is pretty important. Specifically, being able to Township Blade Splicer tokens can be huge.
So Higashi with a very fast birthing pod here. What is your assessment of the value of birthing pod in this matchup?
Pod is pretty good here because pod can let you accelerate into the single copy of Acidic Slime and Vorpede and then Titan. And if you're able to actually do that and your opponent doesn't have significant acceleration, like that actually puts them in a pretty rough spot because say Chris plays Blade Splicer next turn and then activates his pod and goes to get a Hunt Master or something. If Mitch doesn't Slagstorm immediately, then he's threatening to get a Acidic Slime kill a land or get Vorpede into Titan following turn. It's a lot more impressive when you're on the play because you actually have the ability to do that before you can play your Blade Splicer and then play your pod and get rid of it immediately after getting the damage in.
So Mitch is just going to Slagstorm the one bird away here.
What else is in Mitch's hand? I'm not sure.
I think it might just be lands. I don't know if he has even another spell in his hand.
Oh, and Chris has no other play. It looks like Chris has, I think that's Inferno Titan.
Is that actually 6 lands in hand?
It looks like it might be.
Oh, no, you got something. A Solemn.
Okay. Well, I see Chris has an Oblivion Ring and an Inferno Titan, it looks like.
And you just drew another pod, that appears to be? Second pod, not as good as the first pod.
Yeah, it's much worse. That's why there's only 2. Big part of the reason. Oh, he's copying... he's copying the Simulacrum.
That's awesome.
I think that's probably what he drew.
Okay,
so
yeah.
He's probably going to go get Mountain here, and then he can pod that away and go get...
if you were playing with white sleeves and missing a card...
Go get either Acidic Slime to kill...
I mean...
I'm just trying to look at the lands. What's the...
He's got a Gorge, 2 Forest, a Mountain, and a Nexus.
Okay, I was like, how did he cast Slagstorm? that must be a Gorge in there. If you pod for Vorapede, then next turn you could just pod it for Titan and it would be pretty sweet. But if you pod for Slime, although I do believe the Titan's in his hand, so you couldn't actually pod that away. If you pod for Slime, you're keeping Mitch off of actually casting a Titan himself, which may be more important.
Well, there's a bigger... Yeah, I guess if he doesn't have another 6 to go get, then you would want to
there's only the one Titan.
Yeah, to go get Vorapede. The risk with getting Slime is that he can just untap and potentially just shock your Slime and break up your chain, whereas Vorapede is just... You're locked up. Like, there's no way.
That's... If he already has the Titan in his hand, I think you probably want to get the Slime because you can't actually go up from the Vorapede. The Vorapede's body is pretty significant, especially when you have the Township. You can trade off the Vorapede. You generally don't want to be Townshipping your Vorapede first, but there's the Vorapede.
Yep. So things going pretty well for Higashi right now. I don't think Mitch has even one of his 6s here to...
And he drew a Primeval Titan.
All right, well, okay, well, that's why we have draw steps. So do you think from this position Tamlin's going to try to go for Nexus plus Wolf Run because the ground's pretty much locked up?
I mean, right? I think that you certainly just want to play your Titan here, go get Nexus Wolf Run, and
go to Plan B.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's really Plan A.
Sure.
Play a Titan, then kill them with Nexus is usually what you do, though usually people just concede at some point.
Mitch mulling over his options.
So I'm a little confused what he's tanking on.
I mean, he may want to give Higashi the impression he has multiple 6s.
I guess. But I mean, He's going to cast Primeval Titan.
Right. Yeah.
And if his other 6 was Inferno Titan, he would have cast Primeval Titan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe he's just deciding exactly what lands he wants before he casts it. But yeah, he gets Nexus Wolf Run.
Yep.
Unsurprisingly. So, I do know that Mitch is not it doesn't play Magic regularly. He's often just sort of comes out for an event now and then. So he may not have quite the experience with this deck that either you or I have.
Right. Well, my experience would be exactly 0 games.
Well, you've probably watched more of it than most.
I mean, I have cast, Birds of Paradise into Shivan Dragon in my day or whatever, so I have an understanding of the concepts at least. So Higashi's probably first order of business has to just be attacking, right? Because Tamblyn can't actually block.
Well, he can, because if he attacks, playing the bird there.
Okay,
if he attacks any townships,
then he doesn't keep his guy.
Right, then the Vorpede dies. O-ring. All right,
that simplifies things.
So then now you can sack the. Oh, he's just attacking. I don't.
Why do you think he played the bird before combat?
That's sort of my question here. If he was going to use the birthing pod to sack bird to get Strangleroot Geist,
yeah, he would have done it already.
Then yeah, I would think that he would want to do that. So he's going to trample for 3 here. I think I would have gotten Strangleroot Geist there. I'm trying to figure out what the sort of reasoning is. Like, you certainly want to use your pod, and getting your Geist and attacking with it is better than not. I guess because he has an Inferno Titan in his hand, he may just want to keep his bird around to cast Inferno Titan.
Yeah, because he actually is missing a second red source of mana without the bird.
Yeah, he only has that single mountain. So there's True Root Brown Crags he could draw or have in his hand. He also, I mean, if he does use his pod here, it's sort of weird because he tapped his green mana, so he's actually going to have to pay 2 life. Though it's not hugely important, it still matters a little bit.
It can't not matter. So, Tamblyn drew a Huntmaster of the Fells off of the Solemn and a Rootbound Crag for his turn.
So it looks like Mitch doesn't really have much action. Mitch tanking on his turn here. I think it looks like he has a Huntmaster in his hand.
Right, he drew that off of the Solemn.
So he can just send in. I mean, there's a couple questions here. He can just, whether he wants to play that Huntmaster or whether he wants to just try and kill Chris with Inkmoth Nexus.
The thing is, I think the first order of business has to be sending in one of your Nexuses, because you might induce a chump block even if Tamblyn has no intent on using Wolf Run.
Yeah, I think that I agree with that. He doesn't necessarily know the cards in Chris's deck, though. That's one thing that you definitely, if he were familiar with what it looks like his opponent's deck is, he would know that there's no instant speed removal in it.
There's no Galvanic Blast or Incinerate or anything like that.
But he doesn't necessarily, depending on his sort of experience in the format, he doesn't necessarily know that. So here it looks like he may just not want to attack with his Nexus.
Right.
He's just going with the Huntmaster.
Now, if Tamblyn had a premium membership to Star City Games and had read your article, this turn would have gone a lot more smoothly.
Yeah, absolutely. I argue that even if you're never going to play a deck from any of these articles, it's worth knowing what other people are reading. So, but Chris does not attack with Nexus. Passes the turn over to, or rather, Mitch doesn't attack with Nexus. Passes the turn over to Chris. Chris plays a land, and it looks like I have to imagine Inferno Titan's coming down. And I think what you want to do here is Inferno Titan, kill Huntmaster, do 2 damage to, or rather 1 damage to Mitch, sack that bird, go get Strangleroot Geist, send with the squad. So now Mitch is in a bit of an awkward position. He's very much behind. And how much poison could he have done if he had just sent Nexus last turn?
So he has 4 lands left over. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm counting.
Only 4.
Yeah,
so
not a bunch.
If he was able to do 5 that turn, then I think that his play should have just been send.
Yeah.
Over the course of the 2 turns, just send pump, because his opponent would have to have something to deal with the Nexus in order to win. He's just playing Huntmaster. He's just so far behind from there. He has to imagine his opponent has somewhere to go up from the Vorpede with the pod, or that he has something to cast after that. So I can't imagine that Huntmaster from that position is going to be enough to win the game.
It's, I don't exactly know what Tamblyn might have a different thought process than what I have, but if he's playing around instance removal, that play doesn't really very much make much sense to me, because you are definitely going to fold to Galvanic Blast if you spend your turn casting Huntmaster anyway.
Absolutely.
Or Incinerate or whatever, theoretical instant speed spell you're playing around.
So, Mitch looks like he is again in the tank. And right now, if both creatures connect, that's 7 damage. That will put Mitch to 11 life, which would almost certainly be lethal next turn, especially with that township in play.
Yeah, there's no way he's surviving next turn with his board
even if he played, if he played a Titan, but he would still have to just block a Titan. So.
Right.
Definitely.
There's no way. It seems very unlikely that Tamblyn can actually get any forward momentum from this position.
Yeah.
Like he's just on his.
There's very little in the Wolfrun deck that can actually come back from being this far behind. You need to be the one with the Titans in play at this point, not your opponent.
I also think Tamblyn's hand is 3 lands right now. I do not believe he has a spell. Tanking. And we're tanking.
Did he draw a miracle card? Or he put it in his hand?
There is no miracle to get out of this one. See, for Mitch's position, what I actually like to do is send in the wolf, just to see what kind of, just see where his opponent's at. I like chump attacking a lot just to see, and losing positions just to see if your opponent's, is he willing to block or not? Just see where he's at.
Yeah, I mean, I did that once in the semifinals of he didn't block. And there we go. Mitch concedes. So Chris is up a game here, and in what we have said is a tough matchup, and that's the sort of thing that you need to have happen in order to win, especially game 1 in the draw. And this is Mitch kept. I don't really like Mitch's keep that game. I think that he probably ought to have mulliganed.
Was it something like 5 land Slide Storm Solemn or something like that?
I think so. I guess that's if he knows that he's playing as Nyapod, that's what is actually potentially going to be good enough. But it's also the sort of hand that can just sort of fall behind. He didn't even have a Titan. If he had a Titan in that hand, maybe it was 4 land Solemn Titan Slag Storm, maybe, but. That's a little bit of a stretch in terms of keeping that hand. So going to sideboarding, how do you think that Mitch sideboards?
Well, I'm obviously not a huge expert on this matchup, but I think that 2 copies of Beast Within seem totally reasonable. Just breaks up a variety of stuff and whatever. I don't think he wants the Singleton Ancient Grudge. Seems pretty bad. It's possible he wants the Karn. And possible that he wants the Singleton Red Sun Zenith. So those are the 4 cards that seem reasonable to me.
Okay. Yeah, I think from Chris's side, at least the way that I like to sideboard this matchup, on the play, I like to have all of my Thalias. He's not going to be in the play this game, so I think Thalia becomes a lot worse when you're on the draw, because it's a creature that just ends up dying to your opponent's Flag Storms with flags.
Right, if they go Ramp on 2, and then you play Tally on 2, and then they go Solemn on 3, and you're like, okay, well, this is horrible.
You're in a pretty rough spot there. But I think you certainly take out Daybreak Ranger. Daybreak Ranger is just not suitable for this matchup. I'm not particularly a fan of the Inferno Titan after sideboarding, because I think that you want to be you're on a hero plan. Mm-hmm. You want to be actually killing them with the smaller things. It's something that I actually sort of gone back and forth on, because Inferno Titan is a card that can be difficult for Wolfrun to deal with, but you need to have gotten to like a very specific point in the game that like Inferno Titan is not going to help you get to. So that's the sort of card that I think is kind of questionable. The 2 Hero Bladeholds are really your 2 most important sideboard cards here, because Hero Bladehold is a creature that can actually just win the game when your opponent can't really deal with it particularly well.
Yeah.
Wolfrun is very well suited to killing creatures with 3 toughness or less because of Slagstorm, but the 4 toughness Hero Bladehold, combined with just the massive amount of damage it does if it ever gets a chance to swing, can actually close out games fast enough before Titans can take over.
Would you be apprehensive about having a Titan in your deck because your mana creatures are a lot more likely to be taxed in the post-board game?
Yeah, that's another reason like you want to sort of avoid the larger, the sort of higher end spells, because when you naturally draw your more expensive cards, in particular Inferno Titan, because there's not that many red sources in the deck, and if your Birds of Paradise are going to die to Slagstorm or Whip Flare, we saw that game. Chris wasn't able to cast Inferno Titan for a while. He had to play that bird, wait for it to survive a turn, then cast the Titan.
Yeah, he had 6 lands in play and was unable to cast Inferno Titan.
Right. So, I think that generally speaking, you're going to be better off focusing on winning with the cheaper cards. So it looks like the players have drawn up their opening hands for game 2, and Mitchell leads with a Rootbound Crag. Chris has Razorverge Thicket into Bird. Pretty much the optimal opening.
Yep. And I believe Tamblyn actually has a Rampant Growth. So for our first time in 4 games, we're going to see the Ramp deck actually cast a Ramp spell. Goes and gets a Forest.
And Thalia comes down. This is exactly what I was saying. Yeah. Like Thalia would have been much devastated last turn. Thalia would have been absolutely crippling. It would have stopped any potential turn 2 ramp spell for Mitch. But coming down after he's already cast that Rampant Growth really doesn't do very much.
This turn could be Slagstorm or Solomon. Both are disastrous.
Or Huntmaster.
Yeah.
Any one of those, it really makes Thalia look kind of embarrassing. But when you're on the play, it's totally different.
Yeah, Mitch would have just passed on turn 2.
Right. And very frequently pass on, we'll have to just cast that Rampant Growth turn 3 and then maybe, have access to some big things. But having that single turn ahead can often just be enough to actually get the damage.
That's an actual time walk.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, I would way rather cast Thalia than Temporal Mastery on turn 2.
There is Thrun.
Ooh. Interesting. Thrun comes down. Thrun is definitely a big body that and that's one of the things that you need against Naya is things that can stop their dudes.
Yeah. It seems like obviously Thrun is not at his ideal here, but it seems like you just want to be better at fighting on the ground,
right?
Because that's like where all the important stuff is happening, and that's where you're going to lose games if you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And Thrun is certainly holding off that
entire board.
Yeah.
And it's just a dangerous spot for Higashi because he's just
And Thrun is
actually has to keep developing into potential Slagstorms and Whip Flares from here.
Thrun is actually also an excellent answer to a Hero Bladehold, because a hero can't just attack into it because it'll just die.
So Mitch has another option for this turn. He can either cast a Acidic Slime, or he can cast his Rampant Growth for 3 mana, play a land, and leave up Regeneration mana for Thrun.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
or he can get frisky.
Get busy. All right.
I like it. My language.
He's attacking? All right, yeah, Chris double blocks, which is interesting.
If I knew that he was going to block that way, I like that attack a lot.
Yeah. So you can just regenerate and kill Thalia and put a counter on the Stranglegeist.
The only way to really rationalize this play from Higashi's perspective is he has another Tally in his hand, right?
Yeah, that's I think
I can't imagine anything else that
I'm
rationalizes
trying.
this
Yeah, I'm
block.
trying to sort of figure out what the. I mean, you can potentially just be trying to keep Mitch off of using his mana in a productive way this turn. You know, like double blocking here stops him from
playing a 4.
Yeah, it stops
basically.
him from being able to actually cast, like, say, a Hunt Master this turn if he wants to keep throwing around.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But you lose.
Unfortunately, since Mitch has another land and a rampant growth, he actually gets to fill out his mana perfectly this turn.
Yeah, if I could have had Provoke, I certainly would have made that attack.
Rampant growth for a mountain and passes the turn. So we'll see if Higashi has another Talia or something else to add some.
And there's
No.
another
Strangleroot
Geist, which is getting some damage in
good
here.
Good pressure.
Yeah.
The problem is that Thrun gives him just Tamblyn a lot of, and there's another Talia. Okay, so the mystery is revealed.
Yeah. And Mitch did not have a Titan yet, did he?
I don't think so. The problem, from Higashi's perspective, the problem is that Thrun just gives Tamblyn like so much control over how the damage race gets worked out or whatever, because he can't block it efficiently. So anytime Tamblyn wants to attack, he gets to attack, and he also could just hold off a lot of Higashi's team or force him to trade in a ton to get damage through.
What Chris really wants here is just a Metamorph, just to kill that Thrun.
Yeah.
As sad as it makes me to see a Metamorph
kill. Boo.
So Mitch, I see a Hunt Master in his hand, and then what else does he have?
I think I saw a Galvanic Blast.
Yeah, there comes Hunt Master, which is putting even more difficulty. Oh, that's a weak wolf. We need a better wolf than that.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
Come on.
At least set the die to 2. There we go.
Oh! Well, that's a double-faced one, I think. That's the one from the full moon Friday Night Magic.
And he's happy to just leave Thrun back on defense this turn.
Galvblast kills Bird, which I agree with.
Yep.
Taking out the Bird there. Chris had missed a land drop, and he's certainly not going to be able to combat this board with cheap spells.
There's also, if
Incinerate. Okay.
If Tamblyn is without, if Tamblyn doesn't have a 6, he also just can't. It's going to take him a while to actually start attacking Higashi from here, so he has to.
Well, he has a Nexus and a Wolf Run, so he can actually take it to the air pretty reasonably. It looks like he has a slime.
Yeah, we're going to slime him.
Yep. Ew, Slimer.
Stranding his white mana.
So it looks like I think I see a Vorapede in Chris's hand, which he is several mana off from casting. Many a tap land. Not in his hand, but in play.
An Elfheim Palace.
My, how times have changed.
Yes. So yeah, Tamlin's pretty happy to take his time here. I mean, he's going to pick his spots to get in damage when there's really no risk of.
Just trades that Thalia off.
Maybe he has another Thalia.
Not even trades, just discard that Thalia. This isn't one of the. I mean, I'm a little confused by that. Like, even more confused than the last one because
maybe does he have a pod in his hand that he can't cast?
Maybe. What's going on? Oh, he's decided he wants a Wolf Run.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess he must have Birthing Pod or something. Land. But I mean, I would have thought he would have cast the Birthing Pod before he played the second Thalia after he blocked the first Thalia or something, but yeah. 3 mana.
And there's a pod.
Yep. So he can go search for Blade Splicer from here, but he's
Not
pretty
this turn,
far.
right?
Yeah, not just yet.
There's an Inferno Titan, so this should get.
This game is concluding shortly, if there's a Titan.
About to get uglier than a Masterpiece sneaker. All right, there we go.
That was kind of a bad sound effect on my part. Yeah, I don't know. That might have been better.
Yeah.
That was certainly more enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Make sure we can see all of the horrific monsters that are crushing you.
Here they come.
Chris is a trooper. My card
I
would
would've
have been shuffling already. There we go. Okay. You decided to take my line of play.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm a big fan of conceding fast, especially on camera. you don't want to muddy up your good name by sitting there catching beatdowns, wasting everyone's time. You know, the total sum time that you're on camera, I like to be winning more than losing.
Yeah, absolutely. So you just like
play slow when it looks like you're winning.
you're in an advantageous position.
Yeah.
You're just like tanking.
Think a little while.
You're either just dead on board. You're like,
yeah. Well, I had to play around. You know, you could have had 2 different free spells, and like you know, you could have played a card drawing spell into X, Y, and Z. So I had to think about that. Yeah. No reason to rush. So, Higashi did not even take a look at his sideboard there before shuffling up. So, you had to assume he's keeping the same configuration.
Yeah,
it sounded like you had a surprise reaction to a post-board Incinerate there.
Well, like I was a little bit surprised that he had Incinerate and what seemed like so many Thalias. I actually like Incinerate after sideboarding because you do want to have ways to kill Huntmaster, because Huntmaster can otherwise really sort of like mess up your plans of attacking your opponent. But I do like to have more Incinerates on the draw than I do on the play, because on the play you can actually sort of pressure them much better.
Yeah.
And Huntmaster is less relevant coming down, especially if you have all your Thalias after sideboarding. You can being able to disrupt their mana acceleration. They can't land Huntmaster nearly as quickly, and Incinerate's also less efficient. I have to imagine that he cut on the draw. I also really don't like Garruk.
He had one in his hand.
Whereas on the play, I like Garruk. Because Garruk can actually, you can play it, generate an advantage, and then kill a Huntmaster with it. And it helps you like actually have a threat that you can play that doesn't just get wiped away by Slagstorm or something. So I actually also like sideboarding out some number of my own Huntmasters because they're pretty weak in the matchup.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of the threats in the Naya deck are really, they line up in very specific ways against the things that the ramp decks are doing. So the play versus draw thing is actually a huge deal.
It is a very big deal, and that's one thing that I think a lot of players don't really take into nearly enough consideration is what matters when you're playing from different positions. Like when you're on the play, you have a very different game plan than you're on your draw against a lot of decks. Looks like the players
they're both keeping 7.
Keeping 7, ready to go. We have a Razorverge Thicket into Bird of Paradise for Chris. Again, the optimal start. Mitch plays a Forest, so he doesn't have Galvanic Blast, or he doesn't have Red Source. And Chris has Geist, which swings, bringing Mitch to 18 life.
I will say every time that your Naya deck goes turn 1 Bird, turn 2 Strangleroot Geist, attack, go, I sort of giggle a little bit. Like, not really capitalizing on that bird very much.
It is one of the sort of unfortunate realities of the standard card pool right now. There aren't that many good attacking 3-drops.
Yeah.
Green at least has basically Daybreak Ranger at 3, which is not a creature you play for its power and toughness. And turn
we need a hero.
Turn 3 hero is exactly the draw that you want against Wolfrod, as Mitch reads it.
This is gonna
get ugly for Mitch.
Yeah, he has a Slagstorm in his hand that means almost nothing on this board.
Yeah, Slagstorm kills Bird and then gets you attacked for what?
1 million?
11? Yeah, if he's Slagstorm right now, you get attacked next turn for 11.
So Tamblyn just trying to figure out how he's going to dig out of this. There's a lot of sources of 3 damage in his hand, which is not.
This is precisely what Hero Bladehold is for. You know, it matches up just so well against the vast majority of removal effects. And this is sort of one of the things that we were talking about earlier. That when Wizards sort of crafts a format that they do very well is making cards that are good against the various answers that are good against everything else.
Right.
And the fact that you can play a card like Hero of Bladehold, which is so good against the decks that are full of cards like Slagstorm. So Mitch is playing a Solemn Simulacrum, which at least prevents some damage.
Yep.
Did he have a Titan? I didn't actually get a.
He had an Inferno
great
Titan in
look.
his hand.
Okay.
The other thing is, if Higashi attacks with everything, which presumably he'll do,
He can Inferno Titan away the
he can-
returned. He can block the Geist.
the Geist, and then if he has 2 sweepers or Inferno Titan can sort of start dragging himself back into the game.
Yep. I wonder if Chris has O-Ring here. I think he should O-Ring Sphere. This is actually something that I very rarely see people do, which I think actually is often correct. Is killing the mana of the Wolfrun deck by using Oblivion Ring on Sphere.
Certainly, the jump from 5 to 6 mana is the
Is
entire
the
range.
biggest, right.
Yeah.
I actually also often like to have a grudge in my deck just against Sphere and Nexus. But all right, we have an attack and it's a big one.
So I just assume, he's going to go in front of Strangler, guys.
Takes 8 damage. So it's 3 from the hero, 4 from the pair of soldiers, 1 from the bird. So Mitchell goes down to 8 life, draws a card.
It's a Gorge.
The Strangler Geist comes back. Chris has. Let's find out.
Yeah, this is tough because if Tamblyn has Inferno Titan, you want to play out your whole hand. If he has 2 sweepers, you want to hold back. So
Right.
this is a very tough decision.
Well, right now, Mitch has access to 4 red already too. So even if he had a pair of Slagstorms, just another land is enough to cast them.
Yep.
Well, he just says go.
Which means that Inferno Titan here is going to do a lot of work. And he
Wait,
drew
no,
the red
Sun
Zenith.
Zenith. So Inferno Titan can come down and kill the. Well, actually, Inferno Titan's not even good enough here, right? Because the 2 soldiers stick around. He can kill. Well, I guess he has to kill Soldier, Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd have to kill Soldier, Bird, but he's actually still getting attacked for. He's
can-
actually still getting attacked for lethal if he plays Inferno Titan. He can't cast Inferno Titan.
Is he getting
He
attacked
casts
for?
Inferno Titan.
Oh,
He
4, 5,
kills-
6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So he actually, I think he has to Red Sun Zenith the hero,
And then Inferno Titan next turn.
and then he gets attacked for 5, and then plays Inferno Titan and cleans up. I think maybe that's his play.
Unless he has 2 sweepers, which we don't.
Right. Yeah. If he
Oh,
has
yeah.
okay, Slagstorm. Or he can. Yeah, he can actually just Slagstorm
Slagstorm
Red Zenith.
Red Zenith, yeah.
That's I didn't see that Slagstorm in his hand. So the Slagstorm into Red Sun Zenith gives him a full board clear, and then he's going to be able to follow that up with an Inferno Titan. I think he's debating whether he wants to use a counter off his Sphere or play a copper.
Yeah, he can play,
and play Copper
Crag.
Right.
He can play Crag untapped, or play.
Out of here. He's removed from the game. Exiled, as we call it.
Disintegrated.
Disintegrated, yes. The original.
So a full clear with Inferno Titan still on backup.
So now Chris is Huntmaster. That's not.
Yeah, that's
not going to be. Not
the
going to be
Inferno
good
Titan's
enough.
just going to ice that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris had an excellent draw this game, but Mitch had the 2-4-6 as far as the ramp goes, and then along with the Slagstorm plus more to actually deal with the hero.
Mitch just redrew a Zenith.
Okay. So I'm guessing we're going to see that Inferno Titan come down.
This has to be Inferno Titan, yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm not sure what's being debated here exactly.
maybe he's trying to figure out what he wants for lunch after he casts Inferno Titan.
He's looking at a 6 slime in his hand, but I don't even understand how this could be close.
Yeah, this is. Does he not have an Inferno Titan? Are we like deluding ourselves?
I guess
He must not have
Yeah,
Inferno Titan.
yeah.
We must have sort of misread his hand here.
Yeah, that.
Because I can't imagine
there's
casting
no-
that over Inferno Titan. Because now, Chris can just say go and kill the slime. I think it's
The thing is, he just drew. Oh, he can't even cast it anymore. He just drew a Blade Splicer, but
Yeah.
now that he can't cast it, I guess that simplifies that.
I think Mitch is trying to figure out how Huntmaster actually works. Or some sort of discussion with the table judge. He seems to be distraught about something. So I see a Huntmaster in his hand. I'm not really sure.
All right, so he's just. Oh.
Just
So-
grudged his own.
Yeah, Chris
sphere.
passed the turn and
Okay.
he just grudged his own spear.
That must have been what you thought was an Inferno Titan.
Okay.
That makes things make a lot more sense.
The grudge doesn't seem at its best here. I guess.
It's not a card that I would really particularly want for this matchup.
Well, it displayed his value right there, blowing up his own
Yeah,
sphere.
It was definitely all right. And Red Sun Zenith comes
he's
back for more, takes out the Huntmaster,
And there's his
Mitch
own
plays his own
Huntmaster.
Huntmaster. So drawing that Red Sun Zenith that turn was crucial.
Yeah.
Because he actually didn't even have like a play that could deal with the board at all.
I guess I assumed that was an Inferno Titan in hand because I wouldn't understand why there would be a grudge. But
I
whatever.
mean, he did see Birthing Pod. So
yeah. But it's,
I'm not disagreeing that it's a little
Yeah.
surprising to see it, but
again, with a premium membership, you would have known.
so apparently the discussion
Oh.
there was the table judge issued a second slow play warning to Mitch, who, as we have commented, has been in the tank quite a bit. So
Green Sun Zenith for 3.
3. Is he getting? I mean, what's he getting? I assume you're getting Strangeroot Geist here because I can't really think of a 3.
You got his Daybreak
Does he
Ranger.
have Daybreak Ranger in his deck right now? It's a bird? I'm very confused. Because Mitch can just say go and kill the bird. Maybe he thought he had a Daybreak Ranger in his deck and didn't?
You can tell Tamblyn's pace of play has accelerated substantially.
As he only takes
False alarm.
a few moments to rearrange his lands. And
Yeah. The play you described is going to leave his Huntmaster back, not trade it off, and then nug the bird.
I'm a little. I guess he killed the the wolf over the slime because
Metamorph, maybe?
yeah. So the bird that he Zenith for dies, and
He's got a couple of Heroes of Bladehold in his hand, and not.
yeah, he has a hero, a Blade Splicer. It looks like an acidic slime of his own.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're getting jiggy with it here, attacking with everything.
That is a reference that is dated
Probably dated.
even by our standards, Brian.
I don't know why that just jumped to mind. He's attacking with everything. No, he's not attacking with the
Nexus, yeah.
Nexus.
Because I guess there could theoretically be a grudge in Higashi's hand. There's no reason to let him.
Yeah.
Also, you're not poisoning out of this game.
Oh, well, he drew basic planes. I'm a little surprised that he traded with the wolf instead of the slime, because that slime being around is kind of relevant. Oh, well, he's killing that Nexus. Like if for instance Chris is able to say he draws an untapped white source
plays hero, then
Yeah, then
your
it's-
hero holds off the token but doesn't hold off
Right,
the slime.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a little confusing to me. And
Mitch draws another land, so his hand's just 2 lands right now.
yeah, so. And what was Chris's hand? We know he has
And at least 1 hero.
a hero. I thought he had a blade,
Blade
splicer.
Splicer.
So Mitch can just attack with his acidic slime here. Yep. And Chris is going to take it, going to 8.
So with the planes here, Higashi's actually right back in it.
There's only 1 planes, so he's probably not going to draw another one.
Come on, Brian, you gotta tighten these decks up.
He could draw Sun Petal Growth. And Blade Splicer is going to come
Presumably
down.
Blade Splicer.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, I'm still a little baffled by his choice to Green Sun for that bird a bunch of turns ago, especially when it was very clear that it could just die. If he had gotten a Stronger Geist, he would be in a way better position here. Because Stronger Geist could potentially trade with that slime.
It's 2 chump blocks.
Right? Yeah, it's a little. I mean, and it could have gone in the offensive potentially that turn. Because Mitch had his Huntmaster back, and he wouldn't be able to attack. He certainly wouldn't block with it. So, yep. Oh, well, we have a Golem. So now,
Mitch's hand is just 2 lands.
Mitch does have Grudge in his yard, which can kill that Golem. So, if he thinks of it at least,
Well, I think
he wants to save that
ideally,
to flip it back.
Yeah, he wants to draw a spell, and then that plus the Grudge can get.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So there's there's a white source. It's a little slow. What does that guy do?
Another land from Tamblyn. It's just flooding out pretty bad here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's still in a totally.
Yeah, he's got some time.
All right, so that looks like a Huntmaster.
Can't cast both this turn, but
So hero, and I mean, yeah, that slime being around is coming back to haunt him.
yeah.
Otherwise, you could get like a pretty decent attack in. But now with that, and Mitchell draws another land. It looks like.
So 4th or 5th land in a row.
So if Chris were to just attack just Alpha on his turn, the hero would get blocked by the slime most likely. The Ravager could block the Blade Splicer, and Grudge could kill the token. So he'd get through for 8 damage. It looks like 4 from the guys and 3 from, or rather, sorry, 7 damage. All right, I'm not sure I agree with. Yeah, okay. I guess if you're just copying hero, what's going on? Is he just playing both and then attacking now? I certainly don't agree with just saying go here.
Yeah, because you definitely have lethal.
Like,
You definitely have lethal next turn, kind of matter.
and you certainly, I mean, like, casting the Huntmaster before combat there is a little peculiar. You show your opponent that you have this additional thing.
Yep.
I think he wasn't sure if he was going to attack, and then sort of decided afterwards to attack. But it also, I guess Mitchell's committed to grudging that golem where he dies. So the fact that the metamorph is also an artifact that he can grudge,
It's irrelevant.
He has to grudge golem.
Yeah.
So you definitely cast that metamorph before combat because you want to be able to get another copy of hero, because hero is your biggest threat. So here, he grudges golem, and Yeah, takes 7, goes to 3 life. And with just a land in hand, I actually don't see a way for him to get out of this.
Well, he has Red Zenith in his deck.
Well, Red Zenith doesn't do enough because he's facing the Huntmaster 2 tokens and the stuff that gets through. The Huntmaster, the Wolf token, the Acidic Slime, and the 2 Soldier tokens.
No, could you just Red Zenith Higashi out of the game from here?
For 10? Oh, maybe.
He's got more than enough mana. He's flooded out so bad.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He can certainly hit him. Yeah, if he draws. Well, Chris is actually at 12 because he gained the life from Huntmaster, I believe.
Nobody paid 2 for the Metamorph.
Oh, you're correct. So, and that's not a Red Zenith anyway.
That's a rampant growth.
Yeah, that is not going to cut it. He goes to 5 life because his Huntmaster flips back. But Rampant Growth is not going to do it. He is taking a long time to realize he's dead. But
Yes.
This game is over. And yeah, as we sort of were discussing as we went into the match, you know, the important things for the pod deck to have, the Naya deck to have, are Huntmaster, or rather our Hero of Bladehold, and the ramp deck to not just sort of explode on them, and that's what we saw this game. So.
Commander Pod number 2. Come on up to the side event stage. Commander Pod number 2.
Tamblyn's still just grinding away here.
Not really. He even cast
yeah.
No, he just cast Rampant Growth Concedes. Okay. Well, there you have it. So Chris Higashi wins 2-1 over Mitchell Tamblyn, and I'm sure advances to 2-0.
One would presume.
So,
Two relatively good
we have
players
I
on
believe
camera.
we have